Hello everyone, in this video I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Samina Pasha to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Samina Pasha's words. A storm is rising within PTI, or Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, and has intensified significantly. Divisions and disagreements have become very apparent, and now it seems like everything is being discussed openly. We'll talk about which direction this storm might take the situation. Also, today, Miss Alia Hamza made a powerful tweet that has confirmed some circulating news. Some people who were defecting from PTI have been expelled from the party. We'll tell you about that too. There are some ongoing activities in Sindh and Balochistan that we'll share with you. And suddenly we also saw that some individuals previously considered government supporters were today seen criticizing the government. All of these things will be discussed in today's vlog. I request you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Now, first of all, let's talk about the ongoing divisions and disagreements within PTI. Apparently it seems to be growing rather than diminishing, and this is happening just when, according to Imran Khan's date, the movement is about to reach its peak. But the current situation shows that the movement hasn't even properly started, and already disagreements and internal divisions are surfacing strongly. As I previously told you during a PTI event in Lahore, the way PTI's Lahore leadership and Punjab's chief organiser Alia Hamza were ignored raised many questions. These incidents brought internal party rifts back to the surface. Salman Akram Raja, during a press conference, stated that Alia Hamza was too busy to participate. However, Alia Hamza responded sarcastically, saying she wasn't even aware she was so busy, and asked if someone could inform her whether the movement's plan had been finalised. If so, she should be told as she didn't know. Her tweet indicated sarcasm and made it clear that she was neither invited nor consulted for the press conference. This is no longer a hidden matter. Reports today suggest that efforts were made to remove Alia Hamza from her position, and that certain names were forwarded to Imran Khan to revoke her authority. However, Khan did not approve of this move and instead told her to continue working. Although this attempt failed, a faction within PTI has since been creating hurdles for Alia Hamza's work. This has become quite obvious now. The real question is, will the situation improve from here? It appears not. In fact, things may worsen. Supporters of PTI leader Ali Amin Gandapur have started attacking Alia Hamza, criticizing her for airing issues on social media instead of internal party forums. But the truth is, many such matters are raised in party forums. These issues don't initially come out publicly, but when people are not heard internally and some try to dominate decisions within the party, these matters gradually start surfacing outside. As I've said before, discussions on party forums are only fruitful when there's a respected authority figure that everyone accepts, someone whose decision is followed. For example, if Imran Khan were personally present, and two members had differing opinions, he could make a final decision which everyone would likely accept. But in a scenario where no such authoritative figure is present, everyone just talks past each other, and no resolution is reached. This is why their internal issues remain unresolved and repeatedly surface on social media, talk shows, and in leaked meeting reports. And with time, the disagreements are only increasing, particularly as Imran Khan continues to remain in jail. Earlier, party workers were more patient and understanding of the leadership's constraints, but now their patience is running out and they no longer seem willing to empathize with PTI leadership's limitations. Some are even saying, if the leaders are so helpless, they should step aside and let others lead and carry the movement forward. Khan Sahib can't just sit in jail while the rest of the system and governments continue to operate as usual. This, they say, is not acceptable. So in conclusion, it doesn't seem like the internal disagreements within PTI will end anytime soon. In fact, they may increase. With Senate elections coming up, we'll see even more clearly who stands where. Today I saw that Mirza Afridi's name was officially included in the Senate list, while Khurram Zishan's name was removed. Many PTI workers have expressed concerns over this. All of this is happening within PTI, and mutual accusations are flying. But the heavier side seems to be those who are unwilling to trust Ali Amin's supporters, leading to even more criticism against them. Moving forward, PTI has expelled at least 5 individuals from the party. These are the people who voted against PTI's policy during the 26th constitutional amendment. Among them is Mubarak Zeb, brother of Rehan Zeb. Mubarak Zeb has now become some sort of coordinator or special assistant to the Prime Minister, Others expelled include Aurangzeb Khatak, Usman Ali, Ilyas Chaudhry, and Zahur Qureshi. All of them had won using Imran Khan's name and PTI's symbol, but chose to vote against the party. They argued they were independent now and free to vote as they wished. After the 63A judgment, they claimed it allowed them to vote against the party. Though some of them have now joined the Sunni Ittihad Council, or at least part of this complicated mix, there remains confusion about whether they are still PTI, SIC or independent members. That's a separate issue altogether. But at least PTI has completed the expulsion process for these individuals. Now let's talk about Sindh and Balochistan. PTI has been quite active in these regions today. A couple of good rallies were held in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa as well, in Peshawar and elsewhere. There's also going to be a rally in Mardan, as announced by Junaid Akbar Sahib. In Balochistan, young people especially are actively organising rallies and events. In Sindh, Halim Adil Sheikh Sahib has been running continuous programmes in different areas of Karachi and interior Sindh. So we are seeing quite a bit of activity there. But again, the recurring problem is in Punjab. Aliyah Hamza tries hard, but she faces significant obstacles, and the momentum required for the movement has yet to build in Punjab. Now let's see what happens next. Whether it's Ali Amin or Salman Akram Raja, they're saying that the peak of the movement will only be on the 5th. This means, something or the other will begin in the movement before that. Shaukat Basra Sahib also mentioned that they are heading towards shutting down all of Pakistan. So ultimately it seems that they will have to stage some kind of event going forward, because Imran Khan Sahib has at least announced a date, 5th August. Therefore, something must begin before that. Ali Amin did say 90 days, but it will be very difficult for them to drag it out for 90 days. They will have to plan something before August 5th. Now, the most important thing is that the coming Tuesday will bring more clarity. When Imran Khan Sahib meets with his sisters, then it will become clearer what will happen next. Whether it's the Senate matter or the issues around him going to Punjab, or why the movement hasn't been formally announced yet. We'll see what further instructions Khan Sahib gives on these matters. That will be very important, so let's wait and see. Now coming to the performance of the government. The interesting thing is that even many people who were always seen praising and supporting this government are now heavily criticising it. In fact, in the past few days alone, criticism has increased significantly and in every area. I saw that senior journalist Hamid Hussain Sahib also criticised how the government is acting completely contrary to democratic norms and civilian supremacy, instead strengthening the military leadership. He too expressed serious reservations. Then Mohsin Baig Sahib, who as you know is quite close to the powers that be, also made comments today. He mentioned that the business and trading community is extremely displeased with this government. Their cries can be heard after the imposition of 50 to 60 new taxes. People from every walk of life are distressed. He said the economy has been completely ruined. Those are Mohsin Baig's words. Then there's Fawad Hassan Fawad Sahib, who was once a bureaucrat and later officially joined PMLN, even held various posts, possibly a minister in the caretaker government. Today, he tweeted strong reservations over the sugar scandal, pointing out how the sugar mafia is benefiting while the industry and the common people are suffering. The government's official rates for sugar are above 200 rupees. And generally you see these officials doing photo ops, asking if bread is being sold for 15 or 16 rupees, but no one is checking sugar, which has gone from 164 to over 200 rupees. There's complete silence on this sugar issue. This whole sugar scandal has been discussed many times before. The sugar was first allowed to be exported so they could make money. Once it left the country, they made money again by importing it, claiming that the local market faced a shortage. All this led to prices rising beyond the common man's reach. Sugar is currently being sold for over 200 rupees. The entire plan clearly benefited the sugar mafia, which is not some external group but part of the ruling class itself, mills owned by their relatives and associates. That's why you won't see any inquiry or effort to find out how the wrong numbers were reported and wrong import-export decisions were made. There's complete silence on this. Similarly, Suhail Warwick Sahib wrote in his column today on The Economy, saying that although Ishaq Dar and Aurangzeb Sahib were brought in as experts with extensive experience, the macroeconomy has collapsed and they've been unable to manage it. Ansar Abbasi Sahib today spoke on the PCB scandals, saying billions of rupees have been embezzled and irregularities abound. The current PCB chairman is Mohsin Naqvi Sahib. I'm only mentioning those people who are usually considered critics of PTI or pro-establishment or pro-PMLN, but even they have had enough and are now dissecting the government's performance. This is what happens when you come in with big promises, but your performance looks like this. We've been saying for the past 3 years that you cannot manage the economy. The economy can't be run with force. Political stability is essential, public participation is essential, but what's the real problem? The problem is stubbornness and ego. The insistence on not allowing Imran Khan to return. The person the public supports is not acceptable to those in power. And that is why the economy has been destroyed. Today he tweeted strong reservations over the sugar scandal, pointing out how the sugar mafia is benefiting while the industry and the common people are suffering. The government's official rates for sugar are above 200 rupees. And generally, you see these officials doing photo ops, asking if bread is being sold for 15 or 16 rupees, but no one is checking sugar, which has gone from 164 to over 200 rupees. There's complete silence on this sugar issue. This whole sugar scandal has been discussed many times before. The sugar was first allowed to be exported so they could make money. Once it left the country, they made money again by importing it, claiming that the local market faced a shortage. All this led to prices rising beyond the common man's reach. Sugar is currently being sold for over 200 rupees. The entire plan clearly benefited the sugar mafia, which is not some external group but part of the ruling class itself, mills owned by their relatives and associates. That's why you won't see any inquiry or effort to find out how the wrong numbers were reported and wrong import-export decisions were made. There's complete silence on this. Similarly, Suhail Warich Sahib wrote in his column today on The Economy, saying that although Ishaq Dar and Aurangzeb Sahib were brought in as experts with extensive experience, the macroeconomy has collapsed, and they've been unable to manage it. Ansar Abbasi Sahib today spoke on the PCB scandals, saying billions of rupees have been embezzled and irregularities abound. The current PCB chairman is Mohsin Naqvi Sahib. I'm only mentioning those people who are usually considered critics of PTI or pro-establishment or pro-PMLN, but even they have had enough and are now dissecting the government's performance. This is what happens when you come in with big promises, but your performance looks like this. We've been saying for the past 3 years that you cannot manage the economy. The economy can't be run with force. Political stability is essential. Public participation is essential. But what's the real problem? The problem is stubbornness and ego. The insistence on not allowing Imran Khan to return. The person the public supports is not acceptable to those in power, and that is why the economy has been destroyed. All this is now almost proven. Lastly, 2 videos of military officers have gone viral, in which they are speaking to an audience and saying, "You people sit here," and then you go out and talk against the army. You get applause and popularity because this narrative sells. According to them, this anti-army narrative sells, which is why people start speaking against the army. But then, in the next moment, they also say our only job is to establish peace. We have nothing to do with minerals and gas. We are only here to maintain peace. Yes, if we make mistakes, they can be pointed out, but damaging the overall image of the army is not correct, so that's the conversation. Now, if I may say so, there are many contradictions here. First of all, they say the anti-army narrative is popular, appreciated by the public. But DGISPR always says in press conferences that over 90% of the public is with the army, loves the army, and trusts it. So if that's true, then how can the anti-army narrative be the more popular one? Only one of these 2 things can be correct. Either the army has become unpopular, or this anti-establishment narrative doesn't actually sell. It can't be both. Secondly, when they say, "What do we have to do with minerals and gas?" This is said as if the army is not involved in anything else. But we know very well that the army runs many businesses and is even expanding into other sectors, including mineral and gas investments. So it's no secret that the army is gaining control over natural resources and civilian institutions. Thirdly, they say, "Point out our mistakes." But right now, nobody dares to do that. Those who try don't remain in a position to speak afterward. What happens to them makes it clear. So, sir, you're practically untouchable. Who can even dare to point out your mistakes? That wraps up our translation of Samina Pasha's video. I hope this English version helped you understand her message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.